But another big one for Penn State fans, we talked about quarterback a little bit earlier. We've talked about Michael Van Buren several times. So he's released his top 3. Ryan, what's your read on this situation heading into official visit season?
Yeah, very interesting one because he's going back to Oregon, I think, this upcoming weekend. So this one, Sean and I didn't put picks into this one. Once he, opened up about committing, what was it, July 8th, Sean?
July
Is that the
8th,
commitment date? I think it is. Yeah. And, obviously we learned he was on campus for a surprise visit that Sean happened to stumble upon. And, right after that, right, everyone's like, oh, what's he up here for? Is he filming a commitment? What's this all about? And, since then, he's gone to Oregon and he's about to go back to Oregon. So that certainly grabs my attention. And then last night, is it Boga, Sean? The other quarterback?
Yeah, quarterback from Arizona. Yeah, Boga.
Yeah.
And this has been coming. Delayed his
He
decision.
announces he's not going to commit. Go ahead, Sean. Take it.
Delayed his decision. Sorry. He was going to commit next Friday. I think all signs pointed to Oregon. But he's made a change. And this was something that was in the works before he went over the weekend for the spring game. Or no, he went for a visit. So Van Buren 2 weekends in a row. That doesn't sound good for Penn State. I mean, you look at what they've been able to do, and he's always been high on Oregon. Let's not get wrong here. It always seemed like it would be Penn State or Oregon, but it seemed like things were trending after that last visit to Penn State closer to home. A lot of things make sense for Penn State there. But yeah, I can't say that one sounds good for Penn State right now. Just 2 weekends in a row cross country. Let's do some logic building here, and it's not ideal for the Nittany Lions.
So, by the way, they offered a player this last week.
They did.
So let's dig into that a little bit. Tell me a little bit more about that situation then, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm in the process of learning it. I'm hoping to have a story up on Ethan later today. One of Brad Mandler's up and coming proteges, right? So you have that former, of course, anyone who doesn't know Brad, he was Drew Aller's trainer, still is Drew Aller's quarterback trainer. So there's a great relationship there with Mike Yurchich. Penn State offering him last week certainly grabs my attention, but I don't want to overthink it either because we've always expected them to potentially take 2 quarterbacks. It's just the timing of it is very interesting. Now, also, he was maybe the first quarterback that Yurchich wants to see throw during the spring evaluation period. I'm not sure if there was 1 or 2 others out there, but I know he was absolutely one of the first. He's the first to get an offer right out of it too. And the other thing I'll add with Ethan, he has been on campus multiple times. He camped with Penn State twice. Also took a spring visit last year. So there is a relationship there, maybe just compared to some other guys that'll pop up later on. But 6'2", 190 from Olatangi, which is I think there's multiple Olatangis, I believe, like high schools throughout the Columbus area there. He's been so we had a brief talk the other day. He's been to a Penn State whiteout game, and you know what the Penn State whiteout game that he attended? The 2016 one. And you know why he was in attendance? Ohio State, which I found very interesting. Not that matters at any point in recruiting anymore, but I found that intriguing.
Was he 11 at the time?
Columbus. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to do the math right now. He's probably 17. Yeah. That was, he was probably 10 or 11 at the time. So that's, oh, wow. I feel old.
But that's cool. I mean, it's cool that he was able to attend a whiteout game, right? I think that was kind of the big takeaway from it. And not only that, he attended the whiteout game over the last decade that I think everybody points back to as one of the best experiences they've had in Beaver Stadium. So we'll see what that means for his recruitment. Minnesota certainly seems to be in the mix. He's told me he went to Northwestern Indiana as well, but he's going to get back on campus here very soon. And as long as some of these visits go well, I wouldn't be shocked if Penn State surges to the top.
So is it fair to say Penn State's quarterback board, which was never closed at any point, is even more wide open after this fits? Or how do you feel about the situation heading now into the end of April, beginning of May?
Yeah, I think it is open. You've got obviously Van Buren still there, still plugging away on Luke Romanhoek. You're not going to give up on that one, given all the time that you've put into to that one. Samaj Jones, I think Samaj Jones is going to go to West Virginia, but this maybe opens the door a little bit for him. Grunkemeyer makes sense. Grunkemeyer has the feel or the look of once he gets the opportunity to do so, I could see him being in this class. Minnesota offered last week. You mentioned Northwestern, Indiana offers. So he's got good tape. His size is not anything to write home about. Just under 6'2", I believe, 190. Good arm, but they're going to trust Brad on this one. Mike really, really feel strongly that he does a good job training up his guys. One of the first stops every time he goes out on the road is to go see those guys throw, and Grunkemeyer is a guy that fits that profile. So I think it is a guy that, yeah, Ryan kind of said this earlier, like we were expecting him to go see more quarterbacks, offer more quarterbacks, but we kind of did that with the expectation that one of the quarterbacks in the class would end up being Michael Van Buren, and then they would take another one on top of that. So we'll see if that remains to be the case with the latest developments with Van Buren. You're kind of wondering where they're looking right now, and Grunkemeyer was one of the first ones they went out and saw.
Not to toot our own horn, but one of the first interviews in the Penn State sphere that Brad Mandler did was here on the BWI Daily Edition. So if you want more information on Penn State quarterbacks, you want to be in the know, this is the place to be. Also, guys, we are taking the James Franklin approach to morning shows because we have not one but two Penn State potential Penn State recruits, moms in the chat. Not only Corey Smith, who might commit to the Nittany Lions, but also Latasha Harbor, Donovan Harbor's mom, and she wants to correct and says, I'm sorry, Donnie's mom. So apparently he goes by Donnie Harbor. So we are killing it with the moms, which has always been the strategy.
That's the key. That's always the key. Yeah.
Anything?
We had Kenny. Anything? Wasn't Kenny in the chat last week? Kenny
was there a couple weeks
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything left on previewing official visit season? Anything upcoming that you guys are interested in dissecting or previewing? Because that's, evaluation period is right now, and I'm sure we'll see more offers and things like that. But the next big ticket item, official visit weekend, when all the photos come out, then you get all the good juju vibes coming after that. Anything you guys want to set up for that time coming up, Ryan?
Yeah, I'll take that. So if you go over to the site now, we confirmed a massive official visit this morning. Of course, going to ask you guys to subscribe as always to learn the latest on that one. But he's certainly a player that I think everybody would recognize, and we're happy to see that he is now locked in for an official visit. We had another player last week too who's locked in, who I won't touch on. Again, really pushing for you guys to subscribe. We appreciate it. But the one player I will mention publicly is David Polly, the defensive lineman out of Hempfield, who of course is outside of Lancaster, PA. He came up for an unofficial visit about almost 2 weeks ago now, and has locked in an official visit with Penn State. Michigan has also locked in an official visit with Penn State with Polly as well, and I do feel pretty good that those two schools are certainly rising to the top there. So let's see how things play out. I wouldn't be shocked if he sets another official visit or two with other schools, but right now it feels like Michigan and Penn State are clearly at the top there with Polly, and Penn State certainly pushing hard. Both schools are pushing hard. And look, the defensive tackle, again, I think I've mentioned every position now that's incredibly important. Offensive tackle, wide receiver, running back board was really big too, and then defensive tackle. These are all positions that Penn State plans to take multiple guys. Defensive tackle could be maybe 3 or so they want to get guys on board here as soon as possible.
Fitz, you have anything, or we can get on to the next thing if you don't?
I think it's interesting. Before we get to official visit season, May 21st, the Elite 11 Regional is coming to State College Area High School. And that is interesting to me because the visit window is still open. So, if Penn State wants to have quarterbacks come and not throw for them, not work out for them, but come to campus, maybe that Friday or Saturday, or I think the camp is actually on Sunday, come to campus, check some things out. And that might open the door to get some more quarterbacks in here, more guys that are looking to get into that Elite 11 fraternity type thing. I expect Grunkemeyer to be back on campus that weekend to throw, I believe, and some others, or I'm mixing it up with some other quarterbacks that I've talked to. But I think that's going to open the door a little bit to get some guys back on campus this weekend or that weekend to maybe expand the quarterback board there. And I know it's 4 weeks out, something like that. So it kind of, you're going to get impatient waiting for those things, but it's nice to have that in your backyard. It's nice. It's nice to get that going. They used to have the State College Nike camp every year, and it brought a lot of guys from all over the region. The Elite 11 is interesting because it doesn't have to be regional guys. Like, it doesn't have to be guys from New England and Pennsylvania and Jersey and all those things. You might see some guys pop up from Florida or pop up from Texas or pop up from, anywhere in the country, and that's going to help you. So in terms of quarterback recruiting, like I said, you were kind of leaning on to the fact that you thought that Van Buren was going to be in this class. Maybe it opens up a little bit, but maybe you get a little bit back from the State College Elite 11 camp where you get some quarterbacks on campus the weekend of May 21st.
It's interesting. It just jarred my memory. Last year's quarterback situation went deep into the summer. I mean, we were there at Jackson Smolik, coming to Penn State, camping with the Nittany Lions, getting an offer and accepting it all the way late into late July, early August. So it's been dramatic for the last 18 months, and it looks like it's going to be pretty dramatic this summer as well. So it's always exciting when there's quarterback news and then when there's quarterback drama.